Okay, first things first, everyone. What the fuck does the virus do? So there's been a lot of talk about a lot of other stuff. The impact on countries, the impact on the healthcare system. What does it actually do when it gets inside your body? So, Quartz Gazact, that's that YouTube channel that releases those like 10-minute animated videos that are super informational and really interesting. Anyway, I'll link to all this stuff, but they had a really good video on this. I recommend you watching it, but I'm going to do a quick rundown on it because this virus is this is really interesting. And I don't know, again, I don't know anything about viruses. I'm just going to tell you what was in this video and what the professionals are saying about what this thing does. Okay, so I want to preface this with everything you're reading right now is incomplete information. So the band of possibilities is super wide. So that's one of the issues we're dealing with in general. Right? We don't have all the facts, and when you don't have all the facts, I'm of the mind it's better to be more cautious than not. So a lot of this stuff, even some stuff that I'm about to tell you, isn't 100% certain, but we're at the point now where it's safe to say that this is dangerous, and we're already, global economies are responding, global countries are responding to this and taking it seriously now. So I think we're beyond that point. Everyone's pretty much sold on it, but it doesn't mean we don't know the case fatality rate, for example. We won't know that for probably a couple years when all the dust settles. We don't know what it is. That's just an example. So there's some incomplete information we're operating under, but we got to do our best here. Okay, so let's start with the basics again. Okay, so SARS-CoV-2, that's the name of the virus. Again, I'm going to keep repeating this because it's important. SARS-CoV-2 is the name of the virus. That's the little thing that gets into people and causes damage. COVID-19 is the disease that it gives you. Similar to, again, HIV is the virus. AIDS is a disease that can come from that. So it's SARS-CoV-2 is short for severe acute respiratory syndrome related coronavirus 2, which causes, again, COVID-19. So a virus is, and we talked about this last time, but a virus is just a whole around genetic material and a few proteins. Some wouldn't even consider it life, which I think is just fucking mind blowing. So it can only make more of itself by entering another cell. Coronavirus, I'm just going to call it coronavirus throughout this just to keep it, let's call it SARS-CoV-2. That's more scientific. So SARS-CoV-2 may spread on surfaces, but it's unclear how long it can survive on them. So that's one of the incomplete pieces of information we have. You hear 10 hours, 12 hours, it can survive. There was some clickbait headline that said, 17 days that I saw the other day, and it's like, no, that's just when the RNA of the virus was detectable. That doesn't mean it could still infect you. So the point is, it's likely that it can spread on surfaces. So that's where we're at right now. But the main way of spreading seems to be a droplet infection. When people cough and you rub your face, so they cough or sneeze, you get those droplets on your hands, or then you touch your eyes, your nose, mouth, boom, you will likely get infected. Okay, so what happens when it gets infected? It goes through your nose, goes through your mouth, it goes down the esophagus. It goes into so this is where the virus goes. It goes into your intestine, spleen, or lungs, where it has the biggest effect. So these lungs, and again, I learned all this shit for the first time like a couple of days ago. So that's why I'm really sticking to the script here. This is gonna be as riffy, this little section, but then we're gonna talk about some other shit after this where I shoot from the hip more. But I want to be very careful about shoot from the hip when I'm talking about, stuff I know nothing about until like 2 days ago. I didn't even know how to pronounce epidemiology. I think on the first one I said epitomology. So that's where I'm at right now. I know what I don't know. So that's why I'm going to stick to the script a little bit on this shit. Okay, so the lungs, it gets down into your body. So the lungs is where it has the biggest effect. So the lungs are bordered with billions of epithelial cells, and which also line other organs. So the virus connects to a specific receptor on victims' membranes to inject its genetic material. So it connects to those lining cells, injects its genetic material, then tells the cell, gives it simple instructions. It says, copy me. And it's going to copy a whole bunch of them. And once it copies a whole bunch, it's going to tell the cell to self-destruct. It explodes. Explodes is a strong word, but the cell membrane breaks down. I believe that's the right terminology. And then the virus spreads from there. And then it goes and infects those other epithelial cells. So the virus growth is exponential. As you can imagine, 1 leads to 2, leads to 3, or 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, and so on. So at this point, the damage hasn't started yet. Again, we got this wasp. It's right in front of me. Jesus, we're going to be okay here, but we do live shows because, damn, I am sweating, by the way. It's also 80 degrees. We're going to have to move the umbrella, fight the sun off. We got a lot of, holy shit, we got a lot of insects around here. Okay, so here's the deal. So at this point, when the virus starts to spread, it hasn't done any damage to your body. here's when the shit hits the fan. It's when your immune system starts to kick in, ironically. The immune system can be dangerous to yourself. You hear about a lot about autoimmune disorders. The immune system tries its best, but sometimes it doesn't know what the fuck it's doing. So as the immune cells pour into the lungs to fight the virus, coronavirus infects them. So these guys, yo, I'm here to help, boom, infected. So the cells have neither, and this is a direct quote, have neither ears nor eyes and communicate mainly through informational proteins called cytokines. Nearly every important immune reaction is controlled by them. So the virus puts the immune system in a frenzy, calling on way more immune cells to come in than necessary, causing damage. So these immune cells, they come in, they get infected, then more immune cells come in, and it's a vicious cycle, and those get infected. Now, not all of them get infected, but that's what happens here. So it causes two types of havoc. First, the neutrophils. That's an immune immunity cell. What's the term here? Not immunity cell. That's dumb. We got it's an immune cell. Excuse me. It's an immune cell. So there's a neutrophil that goes in. Neutrophils are great at killing stuff. They start out by pumping enzymes that destroy as many friends as enemies. So these guys just go in and nuke everything. Then there are killer T cells, which order infected cells. So the cells where the virus has gone into and started replicating itself. Remember, before it explodes and spreads, the killer T cells go in there, tell the cell to commit suicide. So this causes a lot of the healthy lung tissue to be damaged, right? Because the immune system is also attacking healthy cells and killing those healthy cells. So this is where it starts getting dangerous. So this can cause permanent, irreversible damage called fibrosis, which causes scar tissue and leads to lifelong disabilities. So it's possible, even if you don't die from this, you can have lifelong disabilities if this really messes up your lung system.